Right, okay, same test as before. I've got the ditto looper thing still saving or saved. I'm going to show you right now what the outcome of this particular test was, but the Quad Cortex, I'm capturing the California Tweed. I'll do the Kemper Profiler as well, and then I'll show you I'm not going to move the microphone at all from this position or the amp controls or anything. Try and keep everything identical, and the cables as well, and the take of the audio going in will be identical. So let's just compare them now, and then I'll show you how I arrived at this result. That was the result, so you can make your own conclusions and leave them in the comments as to which you think was closer to the source. All I've got going on here is I've got an Aston Spirit going and capturing California Tweed. Nothing in front of the amp or anything that I can think of, except for the looper. Basically, the output of the neural Quad Cortex is just going straight into the California Tweed and then straight back through from the mic. So let's just do the process. So capture out connected to there, and instrument is going into the return, then from the mic amp. Okay, so let's just confirm that's all okay. So I've just put it on auto set. Say it's not exactly the kind of tone that I might go for, but it's just interesting to see what might happen coming out of this. So auto set is done, I think. So now let's go for it. Start capture. That's loud. Okay, so just doing the same process now with the Kemper. I realise probably we're really in the splitting hairs territory with this stuff, but I guess if we're making claims about the accuracy or whatever of one device versus the other, then I guess we are trying to split hairs anyway, aren't we? In profiler mode, now we're just going to go next, profiling assistant, start profiling, see what happens. Block my ears. No reference amp is connected, or volume is too low. Okay, maybe I need phantom power? Bollocks, it needs phantom power. Doing a take 2 because we need a dynamic mic. Whoops. We'll start profiling now that we've got the dynamic mic and hope for the best. Okay, right, so now I guess we've got to do the old refining thingy. Refine profile, so Okay, and now we'll store that. Again, what's really crucial with this, and I think potentially would ruin this as a test more than anything else, would be if there was something going on either pure cabinet wise or the headphone space setting. That's a thing that can be on and it's not clear that it's on, and it's also not that obvious when you've got output kind of stuff on. So just checking that pure cabinet's not on. Seems fine. Turn the delay and reverb off, make sure the noise gate is off. So this space setting in particular could really throw things off. Okay, I think we're okay. So now I'm going to record that. The trouble with a video like this is that to do it properly, it's kind of quite time consuming and boring. So back in Quad Cortex world now. So I'm going to create a new neural capture. Next, instrument goes into return 1, capture out goes into the amp, and the return from the microphone goes in here. I just need to check that I haven't got... Shit! So I need to check now that I haven't got the phantom power on, because I didn't with the other capture. So... auto set. Here's another thing that I've just realised that I need to check. What was the instrument level going into the Kemper, and what was the level? How am I supposed to know if I've got those matched? This is actually quite complicated, and to give each company the respect of actually doing this fairly is, as far as I can tell, pretty impossible. So it's automatically setting that level there, but I'm not sure. So at least this control here has no bearing on the instrument level. So my conclusion for this video is it's very difficult for someone like me to control for the variables that need to be in place for this to be a properly fair test. I'm trying, but there's just a lot of them, and therefore I think probably it's worth taking a pinch of salt. Any kind of demo that you see of this kind of style on this subject, to be honest, if you're making decisions based on this, there are a lot of variables at play, I think. Anyway, I'm going to start the capture now because there's nothing clipping, so as far as I can tell, this is an okay way to set it. I don't know if this is, again, the optimal, but this is what I'm working with. So that's the recording portion done, so I can unblock my ears. So as I say, I'm not professing for this to be the most scientific thing. It's as scientific as I can think to make it. I'm trying to allow for the variables and control the things that I can, but there are certain things that are just a little bit difficult for me to figure out exactly what would be the most scientific thing to do. So I'm not sure where I should be setting the input and return levels on the Kemper or the Quad Cortex, whether those have a meaningful impact on the tone or not. I'm not sure. So neither process to me seems idiot proof. And so I think you're going to end up getting quite a wide range of different results from this kind of experiment, purely because the way that it is set up does not allow for a super scientific methodology. Also, the time, there's other variables, you know, like the heat of the valves now and the way that the amp is in the room. That environment has sort of changed over the time. I'm guessing that the amp is sort of running a little bit hotter now than it was when I first turned it on and started this process. So, you know, there's all sorts of little differences. Maybe the air pressure in the room is slightly different. So, you know, this is just me caveating this video and saying I don't really know. Okay, so I'm just going to save that. Cali Stealth. Exit. Okay, there's a bit of a pop there when you exit that. I'm not sure, it sounds like it's some sort of physical relay clicking. And so this should now be in my captures. Cali Stealth. Okay, so now we can experiment with this. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not going to make too many conclusions about what's happening here, or, you know, there's more educated people that can talk about this stuff, but I just wanted to provide the things that if you wanted to check these out with your own ears, and you can see whether you think either one is doing a better job than the other, or vice versa. Is either one closer to the amp? Are either of them close to the amp? Or does the amp, I don't know. Make your own conclusions and fight out in the comments if you want to. I'm not saying this is the most scientific thing, but this is as close as I can get the thing to being exactly the same on either side with a real amp, because people asked me to do it with a real amp. I did it with an HX Stomp earlier this morning. Thank you for stopping by. If you want to like and subscribe, you could. That's the Quad Cortex profiling the Cali Tweed and the Kemper profiling the Cali Tweed. That's the results. Cheers.